Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Verse 188 of Surah Al-Baqarah mentions an expectation of the Almighty that comes almost immediately after the mention of the verses that have got to do with fasting in the month of Ramadan. So, the verse that talks about fasting to be obligatory is verse 183 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Thereafter, there are more verses which are talking about the same subject in various different ways, clarifying, emphasizing the different aspects of fasting during the month of Ramadan. After this discussion is done, immediately appears verse 188, which says, وَلَا تَأْكُلُوا أَمْوَالَكُمْ بَيْنَكُمْ بِالْبَاطِلِ, and don't eat each other's wealth unjustifiably. but tudlu biha ilal hukam, nor do you give it to the officials as a bait. litakulu fariqam min amwalin nasi bil batil, so that you are able to eat the wealth of others through illegitimate ways. litakulu fariqam min amwalin nasi bil ithm, by depriving them of their legitimate rights. Wantum talamun, and you know about it. You know that what you're doing is wrong. This verse is actually clarifying and defining what is bribe, and is condemning it, declaring it as completely haram. What happens in bribe is that some official who has been appointed to do justice, to ensure that the society is running on the basis of principles, every person, every organization gets equal opportunities, a level playing ground to enable them to function. But then there are people who are corrupt, who are greedy, and what they do is that they give some wealth, some money to some of these officials and try to derive advantage in their favor which they do not deserve. That is what bribery is, and as a result, there are people who lose opportunities, who lose wealth which they deserved. So the Quran says, don't do it. لِتَأْكُلُوا فَرِيقًا مِّنْ أَمْوَالِ النَّاسِ بِالْإِثْمِ, so that you snatch away the wealth of others by being unfair in a manner that you are being sinful. Why has this verse appeared immediately after the mention of the expectation of the Almighty from the believers to fast? The reason is that verse 183 clarifies that fasting is meant to inculcate God consciousness in the believer. The realization God is watching us and we are accountable to Him. And as a consequence, disciplining ourselves, doing what He expects us to do, and refraining from what He has prevented us from doing. So, when we are through with the month of Ramadan and we have fasted, the Almighty expects from us that thereafter we will not indulge in anything that is going to be unacceptable, illegitimate. We won't earn from illegitimate, haram ways, one of which is bribery. So it's not surprising that immediately after the mention of fasting and its expectations and details, we have the mention of the condemnation of bribery, so that people should know that after they have fasted for a full month, they are now expected to be good humans who are going to earn their wealth in legitimate halal ways. May the Almighty enable us to understand the wisdom of the Quran and be able to follow it properly.